Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, gals and guys. In this edition of My Media Helpers Entertainment Online, we'll take a peek at merry and bright films that are streaming through the jolly bandwidth near you. Each day this week, I will jump on a different streaming service to give you my best picks as to what flicks to check out this 2021 holiday season. There are so many movies on these streaming services, it's hard to determine what's worth watching. I want to recommend some of my personal favorites. The films I present to you aren't necessarily award winners by any stretch of the imagination. These are solid films, and they're certainly worth watching during the festive season. For today's picks, we're going to explore my top 5 on what IMDb TV has to offer. Keep in mind some of the films that I cover in these videos are free on more than one streaming service, so make sure you watch all my Christmas videos just in case you see a film I covered on one service and it's simultaneously available on another. Plus, it will increase my hit ratio, and it's the least you could do in the spirit of giving this holiday season. My stats, peeps. I will love you long time. Let's get to it. Die Hard is a 1988 American action film directed by John McTiernan and written by Wait a minute. I don't cover Die Hard on this video. That's another video. What the hell's going on? Oh my god, life does not seem as it should be. Wait a minute. Oh. Huh? Oh, Ernest Saves Christmas is a 1988 American comedy film directed by John Cherry and starring Jim Varney. This is the third film to feature Varney's character Ernest P. Worrell and chronicles Ernest's attempt to find a replacement for an aging Santa Claus. This was the first major feature production filmed almost entirely in Orlando, Florida, at the then unfinished Disney MGM Studios. Exterior scenes set at the house of Ernest's friend Vern were filmed at a house located on Residential Street at the park, and which was part of the studio backlot tour until it was demolished in 2002. The remainder of the scenes were filmed in various locations in the greater Orlando area, including Orlando International Airport, Epcot Center Drive, Lake Elia, Church Street Station, and Orange Avenue in downtown Orlando. A toll booth on the Beeline Expressway, now known as the Beeline Expressway, the original Orlando Science Center, which now the John and Rita Laudis Shakespearean Center, used as the Orlando Children's Museum in the film, and the Orlando Amtrak Station. Scenes that take place at the movie studio and its hallways were shot at the facilities of the local Fox affiliate, WOFL, which in the mid-1980s had its own custom promo featuring the Ernest character. A small number of scenes were filmed in Nashville. The film was not a critical success, though it was commercially successful, being the highest grossing of the 5 theatrical Ernest films. In its opening weekend, Ernest Saves Christmas was number 2 at the box office, behind Child's Play, and grossed $5,710,734 from 1,634 theaters. Ernest Saves Christmas is the dumbest movie in a great way. It's so self-aware that it's actually fun to watch, even knowing how stupid it actually is. I have a soft spot for this film and Jim Varney. Check it out with the kids. Family-friendly film for sure. Uncle Nick. Fucking Uncle Nick. Uncle Nick is a 2015 American comedy film directed by Chris Kazik, written by Mike Dembski, and starring Brian Posen, Paget Brewster, Missy Pyle, Scott Adsit, Bea Bellinger, and Melia Renee. It was released on December 4th of 2015 by Dark Sky Films. Uncle Nick is a lewd drunk whom one day decides to come to his brother's cookie-cutter family's Christmas gathering in an attempt to score with a sexy guest. But his sister, who was high at the time, also comes to the party. This creates some trouble for Nick, as he assumed that he will be the party's clown. After a few drinks, the family secrets are exposed, and they will spell a disaster for everyone involved on this sacred night. This movie is definitely not your typical Christmas movie. It's Christmas Vacation on steroids when it comes to rude and crude humor. It's a little bit naughty and a little bit raunchy. No one is a good character or a bad character. They're just human beings. All are deeply flawed in their own right. Just like real life. I love this movie, and it hit the right spot at the right time of going over countless diabetically sweet Christmas films that were all the same. This isn't. This is not your typical Christmas movie, and I can't tell you how much that pleases me and how much I loved it. On the other side of the holiday spectrum, The Man Who Saved Christmas is a film based on the true story about the efforts of toy maker Alfred Carlton Gilbert, portrayed by Jason Alexander, of the A.C. Gilbert Company to continue making toys during World War I. The first broadcast was on CBS television in 2002 and then was released on DVD and Blu-ray in 2008. During the First World War, A.C. Gilbert, played by Jason Alexander, a successful toy maker, is requested by the government to retool his factory to help produce goods for the war effort. After speaking with his father, played by the classic and brilliant Edward Asner, and his son, portrayed by Jake Bruckman, Gilbert initially agrees to this, but comes to regret his decision. Things get the better of Gilbert as he learns that his brother Frank has been declared missing in action in the war. This and other factors cause Gilbert to confront the government over plans to encourage people not to celebrate Christmas to save resources for the war effort. Gilbert successfully lobbies the government to allow him and other toy manufacturers to resume the production of toys, in particular the building toy known as the Erector set, for Christmas, thus earning Gilbert the name The Man Who Saved Christmas. Ultimately, Gilbert's brother Frank returns from war in time to celebrate Christmas. The Erector sets used in the film were the later, smaller versions not made until 1924, and not the original larger pieces made from 1913 to 1923. The Gilbert family home was shot in Spadina House, located next to Casa Loma in Toronto, I guess, with a distillery district used for external locations. I must admit, I'm neither a big Seinfeld fan nor a Jason Alexander fan. This film swung the pendulum in his favor. He won me over as his character and proved some serious dramatic acting chops. Alexander is brilliant in this feel-good Christmas movie. Rise of the Guardians is a 2012 American 3D computer animated action fantasy film produced by DreamWorks Animation and distributed by Paramount Pictures. The film was directed by Peter Ramsey from a screenplay by David Lindsay Eboir, based on the book series The Guardians of Childhood and the short film The Man in the Moon by William Joyce. It stars Chris Pine, Alec Baldwin, Jude Law, Isla Fisher, and Hugh Jackman. The film tells a story about guardians, Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, and the Sandman, who enlist Jack Frost to stop the evil Pitch Black from engulfing the world in darkness in a fight of dreams. The film was released in the United States on November 21st of 2012. It grossed $306.9 million worldwide against a budget of $145 million, but lost an estimated $83 million due to marketing and distribution costs. It was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Animated Feature Film and the Annie Award for Best Animated Feature. Now, currently, I just noticed this is no longer free to view, just telling you that they're not always available for free. Unfortunately, I wrote this before the fact that I knew that. I did watch it when it was free on a streaming service for IMDb TV, but just as a heads up, it happens all the time. In 2005, William Joyce and Real FX launched a joint venture, Amesworth Amusements, to produce CG animated feature films, one of which was set to be The Guardians of Childhood, based on Joyce's idea. The film was not realized, but they did create a short animated film, The Man in the Moon, directed by Joyce, which introduced the Guardians idea and served as inspiration for the film. Early in 2008, Joyce sold the film rights to DreamWorks Animation after the studio assured him it would respect his vision for the characters and that he would be involved with the creative process. In November 2009, it was revealed that DreamWorks had hired Peter Ramsey to make his feature debut as director of what was then titled The Guardians, and playwright David Lindsay Eboir, script. Lindsay Eboir had previously worked with Joyce by co-writing the screenplay for Robots. Joyce acted as a co-director for the first few years, but left this position after the death of his daughter, Mary Catherine, who died of a brain tumor. Joyce continued to work on the film only as executive producer, while Ramsey took the helm solo as a full-time director, making him the first African-American to direct a big-budget CG animated film, as well as making it one of his first DreamWorks films to have only one director instead of two, and not have a co-director. As with some previous DreamWorks films, Guillermo del Toro, the Great, came on board to join Joyce as executive producer. present almost from the beginning. He was able to help shape the story, character designs, theme, and structure of the film. He said he was proud that the filmmakers were making parts of the film dark and moody and poetic, and expressed hope this might set a different tone for family movies, for entertainment movies. The final title, Rise of the Guardians, was announced in early 2011, along with the first cast. This movie is great. It's got great animation. It's got great voice acting. It's basically a superhero movie. I mean, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, they all got powers in a way, if you think about it. Check it out for the holiday. 8 Crazy Nights is a 2002 American adult animated musical holiday comedy drama film directed by Seth Kersley and produced, co-written by and starring Adam Sandler in his first voice acting role, with the rest of the cast consisting of Jackie Titone, Austin Stout, and Rob Schneider. Of course, Rob Schneider. The film is animated in the style of television holiday specials, and unlike most mainstream holiday films, centers on Jewish characters during the Hanukkah season as opposed to the Christian celebration of Christmas. This is also Happy Madison's Productions' first animated film. The film's title is taken from a line in Sandler's series of songs called the Hanukkah Song that compares the gift-giving traditions of Christmas and Hanukkah. Instead of one day of presents, we get 8 crazy nights. A new version of the Hanukkah Song also plays over the film's closing credits. The film grossed $23.8 million of a $34 million budget and received negative reviews on Metacritic. The Rotten Tomatoes consensus calls it a nauseating concoction. The film was animated by Anvil Studios, a Film AS Bartel Entertainment, Golden Bell Animation, Marina Motion Animation, Spaff Animation, Tama Productions, Time Lapse Pictures, Warner Brothers Animation, YR Studio, and Yowza Animation. Holy crap. It was the only animated film that Adam Sandler worked on until Hotel Transylvania in 2012, and remains the only traditional animated film to have his involvement. Seth Kersley revealed in an email to Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic, that certain elements of the movie that were notorious, specifically the feces-eating deer scene and even Whitey's voice, which was originally higher-pitched and more annoying, were intended to be cut, but were kept due to focus groups who had seen the film, as well as the fact that the product placements were used without permission. I wouldn't call myself a big Adam Sandler fan. Off late, I would say in the past 10 years or so, his films are unwatchable crap. This animated treat hits the right holiday and comedy notes. I'm not really sure about all the hate for this film based on the reviews. I love it and definitely recommend it for a watch this holiday season. And guys and gals, that is the end of this edition of My Media Helpers Entertainment Weekly, and I have 7 of these planned. This is my only second one. I'm finishing this up on Christmas Eve. No way I'm going to be able to do 5 more after this in the next 2 days. So I'm going to try to get them all done right up to the new year, but life gets in the way. I do have a full-time job and all that fun stuff. I do like to go out and play myself, but I just wanted to jump on here and say Merry Christmas to everybody, and I will try to get those other 5 up by the end of the year, and then they'll be up there, and you can watch them next year and see what movies to watch next year. All right, gals and guys, I got a lot of tutorials planned, which has nothing to do with entertainment, coming up in 2022, and I will see you then. Please like, subscribe, share below, hit that damn bell so you can get updates, and I wish you Merry Christmas. I think I already said that, but I'm going to say it again, and I appreciate you all, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Bye.